The Pixel 7a has more megapixels than the 7 Pro while being cheaper and being a lot cheaper than the iPhone 14.
Now max them out and take a bunch of photos with all three of these phones that we haven't seen yet, and we're gonna be voting on them.
And here is the first shot. Which one looks the best and the worst?
All right, I'm noticing some differences already. The one on the right looks a little bit soft, while the one in the center is a little bit blown out, but I do like the colors and the contrast, so that's the best in the center, the worst is on the right.
For me, the first thing I notice is the center one. Some of the detail is blown out. For me, that makes it the worst. And then between the left and the right, I think I see more detail on the left one.
So here are the results.
Ooh,
the 7 Pro is on the right, 7a is on the left here. And I think these look pretty dang similar, but we will have some differences. Here is our next shot. And the way we are doing this is different from before. We want to make it more interesting, a little bit more fair. So the best phone gets 3 points, the middle gets 2, and the worst gets 1. The results are going to be very interesting. What do you guys think about this?
The left one is definitely the worst. All the detail is all smudged and it almost looks artifacty. And then between the center and the right one, I don't know, I think the right one looks just a little too dark, especially like up here on the roof and stuff, so I'm gonna go best to center.
Now I gotta agree with Angelica, the best is in the center, but I'd say the one on the right is the worst.
All right, the best one, both agreed, center, and that is the 7A, the
7A.
cheapest phone. As you guys see, that was a crap. The iPhone is only 12 megapixels compared to 50 and 64. Here's the next one. This is an ultra wide with tough lighting.
For me, it's gotta be the center. That's the best because I like that it has all the colors in there. It's very sharp. The one on the left is bad because it's all blue. That's the worst to me. Like there's no yellow, orange at all. It's just all blue.
Well, for me, I actually liked the left one. I liked that everything was kind of dark and all of this over here stands out compared to the center one where everything is brought up. All her hair over here looks really weird. And then the right one just doesn't look as detailed. The left one looks really sharp.
Bam, we have iPhone on the left there being way darker than the other ones. Here is the next shot. This is a zoom.
Yeah, right away the center is so soft. Like there's no detail in his jacket. So that's the worst. The one on the right.
The left one looks sharper to me.
Oh man, that's a good point.
This is gonna be interesting.
That is a hard one.
Because only one of these phones has a dedicated telephoto.
Huh.
The left one looks really good to me.
Yeah, the left one, that's gotta be the best for me too.
Center worst, left best. They agree. And
Pixel 7a.
the left one is the Pixel 7a.
Wow.
I told you guys you might be surprised. I put the crops in here because the Pixel 7 Pro has a 48 megapixel. This is exactly 5x what that
crazy.
lens does, and it is worse. Here we have our first portrait shot. What do you guys think?
Okay, the one on the right's the worst. Like you got this huge shadow on her face. You can't even see it. And it doesn't even look that blurry in the background. The one on the left is, I think, blown out, like her dress here. So I think the best is the center for me.
Also, the cutout on the left is pretty messed up here, behind her hair over here. The center one looks really natural.
Yeah, on the right, I will say, since you guys voted, there's cutouts that are good, cutouts that are bad. All right, so center best, and
7A.
another one for the 7A. Now, I did update all these phones right before taking these fake pictures, so they have the latest software.
That's very good.
Here we have a food shot with some Chinese.
Chinese buffet. I'm honestly gonna say the one on the left. I like how the exposure is brought up of the plate and you have the different colors of all the food, whatever. Whereas the one in the center, it all kind of looks super red. I don't like that one, so left is best, center is worst.
What do you think?
I'll agree with you.
Pixel 7a, the best again, and the iPhone looking the worst, very flat. And here is our first selfie.
Nice.
A lot of people in here, this is our family. What do you guys think?
Lots of peeps. To me, the one on the right is the worst. It looks very, very cool toned.
Yeah,
I don't
agree.
like that. Between the left and the center, I kind of like the one on the left better.
The first thing I notice is I do like how the sky looks on the right one. However, the detail in their faces in the background are much softer. And then between the center and the left one, I like the center one the most. And they all fit in there.
Yeah, and this was not staged. I was gonna take just a regular selfie and then more people joined in. It happens in life. All right, let's take a look.
7A.
7A.
Is the worst.
The 7A has the widest selfie camera, which is nice. Here's our next shot. This one is a macro.
Whoa.
Immediately, I really like the left one. It looks like a really, really nice macro shot. Everything pops out. The center one didn't work or something? I don't know.
Maybe it just doesn't have a macro mode. it allows you to do it, but just doesn't look the same.
Yep, the one on the left looks absolutely gorgeous. All that bokeh everywhere, the colors, super good. The one in the center, not much blur. You got all the sticks everywhere, all the branches. It looks ugly.
iPhone 14 did a great job, and the Pixel just didn't want to take that picture properly. And this one has tough sunset lighting.
This is hard, they're all so similar.
For me, the one on the right is the best. I like the overall balance. It's very sharp as well.
I agree.
I don't like the one in the center because his face is all red. You can see that for sure.
And there's just less detail.
Yeah, yep.
7 Pro the best, 7A the worst. And here we have a portrait shot, a lot of depth there.
Whoa. Well, the right one didn't work. Seems like the center one looks really weird and unnatural. The left one looks really good.
Yep, the left one wins for sure. The one on the right didn't work for portrait, so yeah, that's.
And it also has like artifacty kindness too. All right, and the iPhone 3 took the win. The 7 Pro said it took a portrait, but it didn't, and that actually was kind of consistent.
Yeah, that happened last time. Yeah.
Here we have this distant shot of this amazing home.
I think I'm immediately noticing the most detail on the left one, and then the right one just looks really faded.
All right, the one on the right, very soft, very faded, and between the left and the middle, I do like the extra contrast of the middle, but Angelica is right, I do see more detail. I'm choosing the left as well.
All right, and the left is the 7 Pro that has that telephoto, and I was just honestly surprised how good the 7A does without a telephoto. Not as detailed, but destroys the iPhone.
Kills it.
Here we have another portrait shot backlit with the sun.
What? Okay, it looks like the portrait's not even working on the left and the right.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
And his
That's
face
weird.
almost looks out of focus.
These are real life scenarios. Your kid hops on, you need to grab a shot, you want it to look good, this is what you get.
I mean, to me, I would choose the center. I like.
Even though
I like that sun flare. It looks really cool. It is a little bit too cool toned, but I would probably change it, make it a little bit more warm. That's definitely the best. The one on the left, I'd say, is the worst. There's like artifacting in the face and stuff. Yeah.
The iPhone took the win. And the interesting thing with the iPhone is it will tell you if the portrait mode is not working with the little display, whereas the other ones tell you it's working and then you just get a bad result. So the next one here is a backlit shot with the sunset.
First thing I notice is all of this artifacts over here and on the right one, while the left one looks very clean. So I would say left is the best, followed by the right.
Yep, I do notice all that artifacts. It looks terrible in the center. The one on the right almost looks out of focus, like no detail here in his face. So the left does end up being the best, even with the flaring.
iPhone 14 compared to the Pixels there on the right.
The worst was the center.
It's interesting how you guys are agreeing a lot more this time than before.
I guess so.
And here we have another portrait shot.
Once again, it does it again.
Yeah, both.
And this is one that I did just without a human subject.
Yep.
It's more difficult.
I mean, the one on the right, it pops out.
Yeah, the one on the right,
Looks
and
great.
then I would say the left one because it all fits in the picture. The center one's kind of cropped.
Yeah, the left one's the only one that fit.
Yeah, the left one does look very detailed too. So, yep, that's.
So center worst, right best. And I promise you guys, I was not doing this on purpose. I don't think I've ever had this many fails as far as portraits. iPhone can do it even if it's far away. It didn't used to be the case. And here we have a shot of our parents and Elon.
Center one, I mean, is so detailed. Everything looks awesome, balanced.
Yeah, the dynamic range, the colors.
Definitely the best, yeah. I'd say the one on the right is the worst because they kind of match in detail, not as sharp, but it's kind of underexposed and his shirt's blue, so.
Yeah, it's a little bit darker.
iPhone did a great job. 7A in second place. And here we have an ultra wide with the sunset there.
I was gonna go with the left because it's the best exposed, the color looks great, but I think it is a little bit too brought up. The one in the center is a little bit more moody while keeping the shirt color decent, while the one on the right is just kind of like
really
way
dark.
underexposed. So I think I'm gonna go with the center.
I think I'm gonna go with the center too.
Okay, you guys agree? And the 7A did a great job with the balancing, while the 14 is just too dark and crushed. And here we have a shot with the soft lighting, a cool hotel in the background.
Wow, that left one looks really good. Her
Yeah, the left
face
one.
looks so sharp and detailed. The colors look amazing. The center one looks really blurry.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, the one on the left, you have the highlight roll off from the sunset, like the sunset colors are showing up. The other ones, no. And yeah, you're right. The center
center.
one's very blurry.
And it just the center one misfocused, and you can't really tell on the
yeah,
phone.
It's on the back.
But when you get it up
Wow.
larger, you could tell.
Okay.
iPhone 14, beautiful color rendition, 7A in second place. Now we're getting into some darker lighting with the sun going down.
Man, that right one is very, very blurry.
Too much motion blur.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, there's motion blur. It's kind of dark, underexposed. The one on the right's the worst.
I think the center one looks the best.
Me too. Yeah, I like how you could see everything. Everything's properly exposed. Looks
More
good.
detail.
So iPhone best, 7 Pro the worst. And this is a 2x crop because with these large sensors, you can get a little bit closer without needing the telephoto or the super long zoom.
Yeah, the right one definitely looks the best. And then I think the center one looks the most dark.
To me, it's between the middle and the right. And I do think the one on the right looks better. I like how it's a little bit more warmer, highlight roll off, everything. The one on the left to me looks very kind of artifacty, blurry. So that's the worst for
Definitely
me.
the worst. Interestingly, the 7 Pro, once again, slightly blurry when it's dark. And the 14 just does a good job, even though it's a 12 megapixel. And here we have a portrait of an object in dark lighting.
Wow.
I was surprised that all the phones took it.
I like the center. I like the blur. I like everything, the contrast, everything. But also, if you look closely, it's got the most detail here. The one on the right is just a little bit too underexposed for me.
The left and the center look very similar. I think I like the one on the left more. I think the colors are just, it's a little too broad up, the center one for me, and the right one just looks really bad in my opinion.
So right one is the worst,
Yep.
and the iPhone
Is the word.
failed. And here we have a nighttime selfie, quite dark.
Oh man, they're all not great.
Yeah.
None
All
of them are that
blurry.
good.
I think the right one looks the least bad.
To me, the one in the center is the worst. Like it's all just flat, like orange.
And look at this,
here.
I gotta say.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the one on the right, I'd say does the
Yeah.
best job here.
That's a Pixel 7 Pro, better selfie cam at nighttime. Here we have an ultra wide
Whoa.
shot of the pond and my fish.
The left one is just way too dark. The other two do better in this situation. And the other two are very, very similar. I think I see more detail in the center one.
I'm gonna say, yep, the left is just so underexposed, you can't see nothing. I like the one on the very right. It's not as blown out with like these details on the rocks, so I like that one.
All right, and once again, the iPhone did really bad. Do you guys remember when the iPhone had less contrast and looked more natural than
Yeah.
Android phones? Look at that. And here we have a portrait shot,
Whoa.
side lit, very tough.
These all look really bad.
We need the iPhone 14 Pro for this
Yeah.
with that LiDAR sensor.
The left one just looks so green and swampy, but then the other two look really artifacty and weird.
Both of the ones on the right are just crushed, the details are gone, especially the center. I'd say that's the worst. I like the one on the left because I know the light is most likely warm like this, so I like that one the best, and it's not as crushed.
I think I hate the one on the left the most. I think I like the right one more.
All right, mixed feelings here. And there you go. No love for the 7 Pro. And this is
Whoa.
a beautiful flag that looked great to my eyes. This is a 2X, so all the lenses are being cropped in.
I mean, it's the one on the right. That's the best. The one on the right is the best to me. It's got the most detail. It doesn't suffer from the flaring as
I
much.
think the one on the left is the best one. The center and the right just looks so weird and artifacty, just everywhere in the fence. The left one looks not great, but it looks cleaner.
I don't like the center.
Middle's the worst then?
Middle-
Middle's the
worst.
worst, yeah.
iPhone 14 is the worst. The pixels get some extra points. And for our last shot,
Wow.
this is on a
see.
tripod with astrophotography modes.
I mean, the left is the best to me. That's the best. I like you can see all these
Yeah.
details. The one on the right is, I'd say, a
So
little
dark.
too dark. The one in the center is just way brought
So
up
bright,
and fake.
colors are weird, yeah.
I agree, even
Yeah.
though I'm not voting. And the left one is the Pixel 7a, even with more megapixels. Google did a great job. And while these guys are tallying
Alright.
up their votes, what I will say is usually it takes Google a long time to optimize for their sensors. You know, here we have a year and a half, but this one's brand new. And I was just really surprised looking at these, how well it did. Let us know below what surprised you the most, and now let's figure out our winners. Angelica?
So for me, the winner was the Pixel 7a, followed by the Pro, and then the iPhone 14.
iPhone lost.
Yeah, this is shocking. The Pixel 7a won by far, destroyed them, and it's the cheapest one. And then it was the iPhone 14, and the Pixel 7 Pro did the worst.
So, what do you guys think? Do you guys agree with their votes? I think I agree. Looking at all these photos many times, setting this up, I was disappointed by the 7 Pro. And how could Google give you a phone that is this much less expensive?
It's crazy.
With a new camera that looks fantastic. Even in those zoom shots, it looked almost as good
Super impressive.
as a dedicated
Software,
telephoto lens. Thank you guys for watching. Click that circle above. Check out our actual detailed comparison with the iPhone right over there. This has been Max.
Angelica?
And Vadim.
And we will see you in the next one.